Hey everybody, this is Dream, and today we have a huge 6-game NBA slate for you. Before I get started, can I smash that like subscribe button? Really does help the channel a lot. Really do appreciate it. This slate is pretty interesting. We have quite a few injuries in it, so let's go and get into that part of it. For the Mavs, Luka is questionable and Lively is out. For the Pistons, Grimes is doubtful. For the Nets, Simmons and Cam Johnson are out. For the Hornets, Ball, Williams, Martin, Curry, and Mann are out. For the Spurs, Wemby and Osman are out. For the Warriors, Jackson Davis is questionable and Curry is out. For the Celtics, Brown is questionable. For the Suns, Booker is questionable and Okogie is out. For the Jazz, Kessler is questionable and Markkanen is out. For the Raptors, Barnes, Podol, and Brown Jr. are all out. And for the Trailblazers, Walker is questionable, Grant and Ayton are doubtful, and Brogdon, Sharp, and Williams are out. I do think the cash line is going to be in the 274 to 294 range today, so do keep that in mind. So let's go and get into our top plays here. So we have Jamal Murray, Devin Vassell, and Daniel Gafford as core plays today. That could change a little bit. I would potentially move Murray out if we get some more information on some of these questionable tags, but right now this is what I like the best. So first we'll talk about Murray. His price is below 8K and he's facing a weak defense. Sign me up for this, as he's had 4 of the past 5 over 40 fantasy points, and that bodes well for today's matchup as well. Looking over at Devin Vassell, Vassell has been playing very good lately, and he's going to have a huge usage boost with Wemby out again. He's played well lately. I'm surprised his price didn't shoot up more after his last game because he scored 56 fantasy points against the Kings, and he's going to have another opportunity to have a solid game here, even if they do get beat pretty bad. Looking at Daniel Gafford here for Dallas, he's done well when he started this season for Dallas. He's only been in Dallas for about 15 games, but since he's been here, he started 3 or 4, and in those games he's been really good. With Lively out and other guys questionable, he's got some potential today of a good output, assuming he does draw the start. He is critical on starting to be the 5x opportunity, so do keep that in mind. The other guys I like a lot today are Cade Cunningham. Cunningham has had 7 out of the last 8 games over 40 fantasy points. That's a good sign for a good fantasy output today. He's a favorable matchup too as against Dallas. Now he definitely get a boost if Luka was out, but he's played well lately, and so he's definitely worth a look today, especially being at home, which he's done better at home. Looking at let's see here, Duran for Detroit, he also has some nice potential today. He's been playing pretty well lately, though he does have a low floor. He has a decent ceiling, and he's a GPP play as a result because he is in a plus matchup, but he definitely carries some risk. Uh, I'm going to look at the Golden State Warriors here in just a second and kind of tell you my thoughts on them, but we'll look at Collins here for the Spurs. Now he's going to get plenty of minutes today as he got a bigger boost the last game than I kind of expected with Wemby out. If he continues to get that kind of boost, then he's going to be a great option today, though his price has shot up a lot, so do keep that in mind. He becomes squarely a GPP play with that situation there. And then we'll look at Reese for Portland. Now, Reese has had a nice, consistent play the last 5 or 6 games with 8 and out. And as long as he's in the starting lineup and getting 30 minutes, he's going to have some opportunity to have a good game. I do think that his prices come up, and that makes him not a must-play by any stretch, but he definitely has some potential here, so he's definitely worth a look. Then we'll look at Sochan, who is very close to being a core play for me as well at $5,400. His price is steady so far right now, but he played very well with a Wemby out. He didn't shoot the ball well, but he got some peripheral stats, and that's what we need him to do today to pay off here. He doesn't have a super high ceiling, but he's got a pretty safe floor, I think, in this one, so he's definitely worth a look. And then you can also consider Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic, Emmanuel Quickly, and Aaron Gordon, and Jonathan Kuminga. But I did want to talk about Golden State because I do have a couple players from this team that I think are very viable, and that's going to be Chris Paul, Klay Thompson, and Brandon Podzinski. With Curry out, these 3 guys are going to get a nice boost today. The question here is if like who starts and who doesn't. I do think Chris Paul is probably in a really solid spot, but all 3 of them are virtually the same price. And they definitely all have some potential to take a lot of those minutes. Even Moody coming off the bench does as well, as does Gary Payton Jr. But I do think that Paul, Thompson, and Podzimski are going to be guys that we're going to have to look at and consider a lot today. Though if I was going to rank them, I would rank them Podziemski, Paul, and then Thompson. So with that said, guys, thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below. And have a nice day, guys.